Chapter 10, North Carolina.
Red was tossing frantically asleep in his bed.
Having a nightmare. You were part of the infesting kind that claimed manifest destiny, said the Indian. We used to ambush your kind when your kind guarded the railroad. No, that wasn't me, said Red. I wasn't there. And Red seen an owl fly through the moonlight, and he heard it scream like a human being murdered, and the Indian looked at the owl as if surprised. No, cried Red. You slaughtered our buffalo because they were our food, and they broke down your telephone poles. No, replied Red. I have a final solution, said the Indian. Red screamed and awoke. He leaped out of bed and down from his roomette, ran down the corridor before he realized it was a dream. He stopped in his steps and looked around, and no one was there. He went back up to his roomette and prayed. Then he was thinking, we must be in North Carolina. And oh my, what is happening? Just a dream. I need coffee. Red went to the dining car alone. He was the only one there. It was way earlier than when the other passengers were awake and ate breakfast. Charlie came into the dining car and said, Good morning. He looked twice at Red and said, Are you okay? You don't look so good. Red said, I had a rough night. I may be coming up with the flu. Maybe. Red looked puzzled. Charlie ordered breakfast. Andy came into the diner, all happy and skippy, and he noticed Red was down, and he said, Good morning to you, Red and Charlie. Andy didn't order breakfast. He had a few sips of coffee and said, One of the saddest things in the world is to see a cynical young person, because it means that he or she has gone from knowing nothing to believing nothing. It is so sad. We need you so desperately. We adults should be telling you every morning while you're having breakfast, while you're on the bus. We should be telling you, you are all we have. Everything we've done, negative and positive, has been before you. You are all there is for us. Darling, you're the best we've got. We need you. Then Charlie spoke. And I would encourage you all to talk so that your speech is more clear. Listen, this is a very good tip. Go into your room, close the door, and read something aloud, just for yourself, just so that you can hear how the voice can carry. Lift yourselves up physically so you get lots of air down into your lungs and speak out. So go into your rooms, young men and women, black and white. Go in, close the door, and read aloud. Read from Thomas Paine, if you will. Read from Martin Luther King. Just read. Read Barbara Jordan's speech aloud. Red laughed and said, Read ceaselessly. Read. All knowledge. My dear young men and women, all knowledge. Expendable currency. Read. Put it in the old bean. You'll be amazed how it will serve you. Then they all three smiled and said together at the same time, Maya Angelou. They talked about her enforced way of life in the American South, the weather, about Coleman Banks, Rummy, the power of the poem, Love Dogs. Red was on his laptop and he was reading how Cherokee women bathe their children's eyes in water containing owl feathers, believing it would help them stay awake. On the surface he seemed cheerful, but he was wondering why he was having haunting dreams. Charlie excused himself, and Andy said to Red, North Carolina is rich in the arts. We are going to have fun here. Cheer up, Red. We have been waiting to do this for a long time. Red smiled. Oh, yes. They returned to their seats and joined the ride, doing work on their laptops, and the conductor announced they would be arriving in North Carolina soon. Charlie put away his iPad and recited a poem about North Carolina. North Carolina. The green hills of North Carolina greet the poetry train, unfolding before us like some magical domain. From the California coast and tales of pirates of the past, we uncover history of poetic wonder, all created to last. The Cherokee, the Creek, Tecatapa, the Siouan tribes live here. The Spanish were the first Europeans to make settlements far and near. One of the original 13 colonies it was, and history has captured the grand tale, surviving the Civil War with the Union and losing many young men to the coffin's nail. The Palmito, Silver Star, and the Silver Meteor are Amtrak's lines of distinction. While many freight lines still exist, many fell prey to extinction. The Museum of the Alphabet is a writer's delight, and the whirligigs near Wilson are a most marvelous sight. The poetry train travels westward, waving a fond goodbye to the poet of North Carolina, forever cast in the mind's eye. A night and day through Durham, North Carolina. Red and Andy had the same dream, but it was short. They were with Union soldiers camping, and it was dark, and everyone was sleeping, and they seen giant owls flying over them. Crossbone flags waved viciously on Slaughter's Mountain, aka Cedar Mountain, and it was beyond cold out there, and scary, wooded and dark. Red put on his parka made of beaver, wolverine, and the wolf hat Mad Bear made for him. There's a brigade, the 1st North Carolina Cavalry, positioned at the station to protect railroad. Rufus Barr's Ringer's man, and I can't wait to get to New York to sail overseas, said Gifford Penscott. I'm going to Nancy, France, to study forestry. One day, I'll have free train rides for people to show them how important the forests are. I'm going to serve America with conservation. Are you a friend of the forest? Gifford asked Red. Yes, of course, Red replied. Well then, young man, let's go for a short journey through the woods in the snow, said Gifford. Red never thought twice, and he followed Gifford off the train. There were country boys everywhere, and Red was the only black man in sight. They all stared at him. There was an earthquake, and this woke Red straight out of bed. Andy was no better in his dream. Matthias Honer was playing train songs on his harmonica, and then he said to Andy, I'm going to build the largest harmonica factory in the world. I can't see why we are letting the railroads to ruins like the Blue Ridge Tunnel, said Andy. What does that have to do with me and what I'm doing, said Horner. Maps, I need a map. I lost mine, said Jung. We are here, a Stump House Mountain, Exodus Falls. Let's see if we can keep the work on the tunnel and the railroad here in Charleston to the Midwest. They want the tunnel 17 feet wide and 25 feet high. About midway in, there is a 16 by 20 foot air shaft that extends 60 feet upwards to the surface, said Patrick O'Hara. Get the lantern, said Jung. Andy looked for his heart rock because this is the only map he knew. Love. Andy's eyes opened. Red and Andy never remembered these dreams. Andy and Red sat in their seats and were on their phone with the family member, and Charlie heard them. And this is what was heard. Andy's first call went straight to voicemail, and looks down at his phone with a sad face. Second call. Hey you, are you there? I'm okay. Just thought I'd call. I miss you and all. What's wrong? Don't sound too happy. I just miss you all. And Andy was interrupted. I miss you too. How is she? I don't know. She won't answer the phone and call me back. Why? I don't know, and I'm worried. Well, keep doing what you're doing. One day people will understand. Oh crap, I have a call coming in. I have to take it. Okay, love you. Love you too. Click. Andy looks at his phone and looks at a text message sent to him when things were kosher. I love you and God loves you. And he looks at Red, and Red was on his phone also. Well, if you have to pay, pay it, said Red. talking to his brother, but actually, Red was doing all the listening while his hard-working brother was talking about his 3 jobs. It's hard to hear you, said Red. I'm losing signal. Signal lost. Red looked at Andy and said, let's call Dustin Von Schuan from Elance and tell him how we want the website. Great, I'm excited, replied Andy. Red dials and Dustin answers. Hey Dustin, how are you? Okay, replied Dustin. Dustin, I emailed you the blueprint, but this is what we want. Bear with me, okay? Because we're on a train and can lose signal. First of all, Dustin, we want to state this. We are not doing this for money, but it takes money to create this. And we are working on a budget. We want to create a website for all poets, poetry websites, poetry clubs, groups, venues, bookstores, editors, publishers, graphic artists, etc. Anything or one that benefits poetry can register. Create a file. They can add their info, company info. The location is recorded to be logged, so when someone says wants to go to Nashville, it will have all registered there to explore, read, and contact, and much more. And along the way, graphic artists can create the city in digital view, like a video too I have showed you at the bottom of the site. You will have a control panel to your page, customer service, with a real phone number and address, and that's very important. About us, privacy policy, legal terms of use, rules and regulations, and partners, Facebook, YouTube, and WordPress. A Better Business Bureau tag, Trusted Commerce, PayPal, Web Trust, Classifieds, Forum, with the search feature. Help, sponsors, newsletter, gift shop, bookstore. These are 2 things we want to add to the site. Gradually, as other buttons and gadgets. A random poet's card. A card means a profile. Poetry school, monthly book interviews, card count. It means poets. Also, there can be a fun feature where you can tag a train and put graffiti on it. Every post is registered with the Library of Congress in a partnership, sort of. Subscribe to this poet/page, etc. Send this page via email, share button, like what's popular now, and skins option. Train skins, a mass variety. Private storage, docs, PDFs, etc. Photo album and widgets. Facebook, YouTube, WordPress, etc. A biography section. A poet store. Books, ebooks, chapbooks, gifts, etc. Personal poet's phone. Public or private with the search feature. A links page. This is where it can get creative. Many poets are on many sites. They can be listed, and a widget creator can make some for all sites that are current. Website owners that exist now can also create a page and register, and digitally fall in affiliation with Poetry Train. And here's where Poetry Train can stand taller. Digitally, a digital artist can create tall buildings after these sites. So, when in toppler travel mode, they can stand tall. Say we go to Indianapolis, Indiana. There's a building that says 21stCenturyPoets.com building. Click it, and there you are on the site. This can be done to all registered sites with location, an audio and video section. And Sony will offer sponsorship if you use their software. A page counter, a tip jar/PayPal. Donate to this poet, site, etc. Okay, a jukebox. A personal jukebox says iTunes. Plays your faves when you're logged in. This feature is great on here. Critique this poem, but the comments are private until the poet allows it to be public. Also, in the right bottom corner, a small random pop-up appears with the poet, stats, and info. It revolves. Now, if you ever watch a football game, they have this pre-recorded view of a headshot, smiling and such like that. Then it fades, and another fades back in. This tech is done on YouTube. You see those see-through rectangles with ads, etc. pop up like that, but pre-recorded video of the poet. See a 5-minute fade in and out. All this can be done internationally. The Railroad, Papermate, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Sony, WordPress are really the only sponsors I truly want to help. Now, to create jobs, we need these added to our team. 3 to 4 webmasters, a publicist, a promoter, PDF makers, ebook makers, editors, distribution division, customer service department, cover designers, audio and video engineers, affiliation marketeers, solutions provider, salesman commissions. They are called ASPs, tag optimizers, biographers, and memoirists. Here's the kicker, a top secret info. No poetry book will sell big without a memoir, because you can't study a poet without knowing their background. Society, geography, personal life, careers, religions. Without this, they just don't plain sell. Poets, publishers, agents, editors can bid on each other and correspond. That's just the beginning. Ad features, the poet's briefcase, kids corner, missing children's siren widget, bookbinding, prison jobs, poets of yesteryear and location, better living through poetry, poem, poepopathy, funny page, cartoon, satire, a secure certified stamp, railroad money, website credit. Duplicate the old money from back in the day. Click this poem to audio. Message system called Send a Telegraph, a newswire, rail fans want a site that rocks also. Andy looked at Red because he looked out of breath, and Red looked at his phone. What, Red? Andy asked. Lost signal, Red replied. Well, I'm going back to my roommate and get some more sleep, said Andy. And well, you know where I am if you need me. It's a good idea, Andy, Red replied. I'm tired myself.